praying equals law of attraction. And it's so much more than just desire or wanting or asking for. You have to step up. You have to take the actions necessary. That might mean getting on the phone with people that you don't know and talking to them about opportunities or their company or whatever it is that you need to know you might be missing. It might mean putting yourself in some uncomfortable places in order to get whatever it is you're looking for.
You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, best-selling author, and Maxwell Leadership Certified Trainer, DomBrightmon. And you're going to be getting some tips and techniques to advance yourself coming up next. Today's episode is sponsored by book number 2 from DomBrightmon, Stay the Course, The Elite Performer's 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. It is the field guide to help unleash the elite performer that is inside of you. Cop it today on Amazon.com or heading over to DomBrightmon.com and snag it in book, ebook, and audiobook, so that way you can take it on the go and get yourself on the go to your northbound success. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today, courtesy of the wonderful site you know, love, and some might even hate, even though they're probably strange if they hate it, podmatch.com. That's right, indeed, wonderful podmatch.com, where podcast guests get to connect with podcast hosts. And if they're cool, they're freaking in. And today's guest is cooler than 2 cucumbers indeed, because she does both. So that makes her a bookcaster, y'all, because today's guest is not only a wonderful author, which faced the minimum qualification to be on the show, she's also a fellow podcast host. So she's a bookcaster, y'all. That's right, indeed, as well as a hypnotherapist, coach, executive coach, speaker, and corporate trainer. So let's give it up for the M, the W, the marvelous and wonderful Michelle Walters. How you doing today, Michelle?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much.
Sweet. So I'm talking about indeed. She's doing awesome. That's right, indeed. All the awe-inspiring goodness. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Sorry, won't even need any awnings either. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. But hey, it ain't about awnings. It's about the marvelous Michelle. So my goodness, as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 75.3 days long. And I'm pretty sure I probably missed some cavities. And it is your first time on Going North. So mind filling in the folks living under rocks. Who is the one and only mighty Michelle herself?
I am as you said, an author, a hypnotherapist, and an executive coach. I am a corporate life graduate and an imagination advocate. I love writing and I love talking about my book, and I love helping people with getting over where they're stuck and particularly getting their careers on track. That's me in a nutshell.
You said corporate graduate. Like, that's the first time I've ever heard that, indeed. So my goodness, so I guess that means you made the successful jump from corporate 9 to 5 goodness to entrepreneurial swag, where you work 120 hours out of 168 hours of the week.
Yes, it's a very different gig. I don't think I thought about it that much when I made the leap, but I love it. It does muddy the waters between work time and playtime and networking time and podcasting time and writing time, but I love what I do.
Ah, there we go. That's right, indeed. She loves what she does. You love to see it, indeed. So my goodness, what made you make the jump, especially to jump into hypnotherapy of all things? Because it's like a lot of folks would maybe thinking like, man, she's hypnotizing folks and making them think they're unicorns with a sweet potato pie for feet. Like, my goodness, what made you decide to go that route? Even though it's not what hypnotherapy is.
Of all things, what made me decide to become a hypnotherapist is actually a book, a novel. I read a novel called The Hypnotist Love Story by an author I adored. And I finished the book and I was like, my God, that main character, she has like the most awesome job ever. I could totally do that. So I Googled it and I found a school, and I was not that serious about really completing this thing. And then I started it and I loved it and I was really good at it. And so hence a new hypnotherapist was born. True story. It's a book.
Uh, did it make you want to write a book of your own too?
I don't think that novel is what inspired my book. I think my book had been kind of bubbling inside of me for many, many years. I've been a big reader, very into positive psychology, very into understanding human nature, what makes the mind work, what's the difference between mind and brain, and how does it all work, and how does it come together. And I realized that it just kind of had this book in me that just wanted out. And so I decided one day just to start writing. And a couple of months later, I had a book. My book is called An Alignment of Spirit, Finding Work You Love. I felt like there was a gap in the marketplace. We have law of attraction books for all kinds of things, for how to find love, how to find an apartment, how to find money. But nobody seemed to have written a law of attraction book for how to find a job. And yet my corporate life was all about how to find a job. Not so much on the like how to write your LinkedIn profile or how to get your resume past all the AI, but really how to get your spirit lined up with your opportunities. Because if it's not in alignment, it doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, it will ultimately fail, because it's those alignments that make things stick. And so that's what my book is about. My book is about how to manifest a dream job.
Hey, solid, good stuff right there, Nick. Yeah, you're so right about that. Because yeah, whenever you see law of attraction stuff, it's like, hey, yeah, use law of attraction. I don't know, to win some lottery ticket numbers or find your soulmate or your future spouse or whatever. It's like job. Oh yeah, that'd be nice too. It's like, nah, give me that soulmate action. That's right, indeed. So I can think I'll be happier than ever before without fixing myself first or getting that lottery ticket that'll just help me to destroy myself faster.
Well, that could be too. I think what a lot of people who don't really understand it believe is that praying equals law of attraction. And it's so much more than just desire or wanting or asking for. You have to step up. You have to take the actions necessary. That might mean getting on the phone with people that you don't know and talking to them about opportunities or their company or whatever it is that you need to know you might be missing. It might mean putting yourself in some uncomfortable places in order to get whatever it is you're looking for. But I heartily believe that we do attract what we are thinking about, vibrating about, working on, putting energy into. And so I really wrote my book to help people who wanted to kind of parallel path their job hunt, not just work on the physical plane of it, but also work on sort of the more spiritual or higher level inner self sort of plane, to be able to use both parts of the system to work their job hunt magic.
There you go. That good old job hunt magic. Funny enough, it's kind of interesting. Heard about law of attraction for years, but it's like, oh, when you think about it, it's kind of true. Prayers are really kind of the law of attraction because you're looking to attract proper results, especially if you go on that declarative prayer route with all the good old affirmations and such indeed. So it led to that discovery.
Well, it came about because I spent probably about 20 years in corporate, continually getting and losing jobs. And while that might make me sound like a little bit of a loser, let's reflect upon the kind of work that I was doing in corporate, which was primarily advertising. And so in the world of digital advertising, contracts come and go, agencies come and go, everything is very come and go. And so while some of the choices that I made along my career route were me instigated, many of them were because The agency was no longer a fit. There was a new person in charge of the contract or the budget got cut or whatever. And so what happened? What happened was I needed to get very good at manifesting another job. And so I decided to sort of take those experiences and weave them together into a how-to book that is what turned into an alignment of spirit. An alignment of spirit also combines a lot of my work in hypnosis and really using your subconscious mind to get on the same track in order to attract the job you're looking for.
There you go. That good old alignment right there. That's right indeed. Making sure your spine's going from head to toe. That's right indeed, as opposed from head to elbow.
Yeah, head to elbow might not work quite as well.
You
Usually
don't
when I
just be
relax
L.
people, we keep going after elbows. We don't usually stop there.
There you go. That's right indeed. Keeping elbows elbows instead of making elbows just L's. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's actually kind of funny when you mention it's like, oh yeah, all the jobs lost, and hey, considering your field of expertise, it makes so much sense because it's like, yeah, advertising, like, yeah, you got to continuously deliver over and over again. It's like, oh, I'm delivering. Oh, oh, the contract's
Over and
over.
over again.
Oh,
Well, and having worked in digital marketing for the last 20 years, I got to see all kinds of technologies be born and get created. When I started my work in the field, there was no search. Search didn't really exist. There was no social media when I started. Like lots and lots of things came along the way to make the game ever more interesting, exciting, and difficult, but fun at the same time.
heck yeah, definitely right indeed. Definitely right indeed. So my
People
goodness. Oh
people
no,
ask
go
me,
ahead.
what does my former career have to do with my new career? And I tell them that both of them are about being very creative and about being very persuasive. And I think those are talents that I bring to bear and also come across in my book.
Yeah, there you go. That good old persuasion. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She told me to wear bunny slippers before the interview, and I did it, y'all. That's right indeed. So she is persuasive. That means you got to buy her book. Let me stop. Hop to it, y'all.
And the bunny slippers look great.
So speaking of hopping to it, I'm pretty sure there have been some setbacks that made you hop over to finding a new version of success from it. So my goodness, what would you consider your biggest setback? It doesn't even have to be either or life or business, whatever one sticks out for you that actually became a success for you down the road.
I have had a number of setbacks, not just the setbacks with work and needing to find new assignments over and over again, but I've had a couple setbacks in love that have been difficult for me. My first husband got sick and had a stroke and passed away in 2011. And a few years later, I met a wonderful man, kind of a dream guy, and we dated for several years. And then he came down with a bad disease. And as a result of medication that he'd been put on, also had a stroke and seizures, and he passed away. So I'm a sort of two-time widow practically, and I'm really not very old. This isn't the best part of my story, but it is part of my story, and it's part of how I look at the world and find ways to keep trucking on. I think that I will be manifesting another partner at some point in my future. I'm pretty good at it. It just hasn't come to be yet. The time's not quite right. But that sense of grief that comes from loss of someone dear to you, a spouse, a partner, a parent, a child, is tragic, and we don't deal with it very well as a culture. We don't deal very well with it when it comes to work, but it is something we all go through. If you live long enough to love someone, you're probably going to live long enough to lose someone. And yeah, I would say that was a big setback for me.
Yeah, sorry to hear about the back-to-back losses. I know that's definitely Rough indeed. It's like, darn, good old universe two timing me this time. I'm like, no, not the rights and the lefts. No.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I think both of their spirits are shining down on me. They didn't know each other on the planet Earth, but I think they might know each other on some other realm now. And that consoles me and shines a light on the remainder of my life. I think I have a lot of life left to share this book, share my work, maybe write another one. Who knows what's ahead?
Heck yeah. So my goodness, so speaking of all the wonderful stuff that you're doing, you're a fellow podcast host as well. So would you consider your three major things gained for starting and running a magical podcast? It's still going.
Yes. So I started my podcast with my co-host, Cynthia Varkevisser. It's called Mind Power Meets Mystic. We started it back in August. And I think, let's see, top three things to keep your podcast going. Having a partner and accountability is really helpful. Making sure you're having fun along the way doing it and not getting too caught up in the details, really focusing on the big picture. Love speaking, love getting to use my voice, love having a channel to reach out to people, and love finding great guests for Mind Power Meets Mystic. It's been a lot of fun, and I recommend podcasting to pretty much anybody who'll listen to me.
Sir, that right, folks. That's right indeed. Pull out a random genie lamp. That's right indeed. Talk about mindset and sliding to Michelle's DMs, y'all. That's right indeed. She's trying to attract somebody. She's got a great show, so you get to learn about her while you slide into her DMs. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. I was messing with you. But you're definitely right, especially about part two, about having fun, because a lot of folks, especially folks who pop on this show, like, man, like, dude, you're actually a fun host. You're actually freaking alive. It's like, yeah, you got to be alive with people. Folks want some reality. They're tired of all the nonsense going on the globe or the pancake for the flat earthers. They're like, yeah, fun, baby. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Tired of all the heavy stuff. Tired of lifting all these weights, trying to carry some elephants with a little pirate hook. Like, that ain't going to work. Oh man, but it ain't about pirate hooks and elephants. It's about the lovely Michelle. So my goodness, is there a question that you wish folks would ask you more often when you appear on these podcasts?
Gosh, I don't know. I think one of the questions I love talking about is how I just love weaving together work on both the conscious and on the subconscious level of the mind. We spend so much of our day locked in our conscious mind, thinking about what we're thinking about and being focused on that level of things, as opposed to really relaxing into a different state and being in that state of imagination, in that state of dreaming, in that state of creativity. And that's really where I feel like my work with people and also my book exists and thrives. It's that junction between the conscious reality and how we all have to function in a way where we're grounded and keep track of where we're going and pay the bills and do all that kind of stuff. And the junction of being an imagination advocate and allowing for that time to dream, that time to wander, that time to explore and smell the roses. And that's a huge part of life. So many people don't put the time into that part of their lives. And I love working with people and helping them to turn up the volume and have a little bit more of their time and space in that other part of our minds, because it's a gift.
That's what I'm talking about indeed. Didn't know you're one of those high A's, one of those imagination advocates. That's right indeed. 'Cause that imagination is one of the strongest nations ever. That's right indeed. Next to donation. I'm sorry.
Well, donation is a good nation too.
That's right indeed. Donation, a strong nation. That's right indeed. Along with imagination. That's right indeed. That good old imagination nation. She's an advocate. That's right, indeed. She's an advocate. She's one of those wonderful diplomats from the imagination nation. Get you to imagine some good stuffs. Get yourself aligned. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So, since you do some great coaching, I'm pretty sure you didn't wake up with your metaphorical six pack abs in coaching. So, what lesson you learned from one of your coaching clients in the past that has made you the best coach that you can be today?
I've learned so much from my coaching clients. I it's hard to narrow it down to one.
You can give three.
One of the things that I've seen though is just how creative people can be when you gently push them to be creative. I recently had a client, I was working with her on time management issues. And this gal felt that she was never on time. She felt like she was perpetually late. She had tried to solve this problem independently and just had not made headway. And yet, when I was able to work with her and ask her some more questions, we found several things that we could do to offer up as suggestions to help her manage her time. And it was really helpful for her to have somebody like me to challenge her a little bit on these things and get her to think more creatively, as well as help her to recognize places where she needed to create new systems and places where she needed to simplify because she had too many systems. And at the end of the day, she came up with several ways to better manage her time, combinations of improving upon systems and ditching systems and tapping other resources. And now she runs on time. And it feels great to be able to help people to sometimes see things that you can't see yourself because you're in it and it's your fog and you've created it and you just can't see past it. My coaching work enables me to help people sort of clear that fog and see some of the things that, like in her case, were kind of right in front of her, but she hadn't thought about that way.
Good deal. That's right, indeed. Because you definitely need those wonderful nudges, indeed, sometimes to not do so darn much. Like, I never, it's kind of a rare occasion where you hear that somebody has too many systems. Like, my God, it's like most folks don't even have a system. It's like you got too many. Like, what
Well,
the heck?
her problem, the system where she had too many systems was too many calendars. And I have
Oh,
a feeling that there's more than one person listening to this show who has calendar crisis. Too many calendars not updating, written calendars, digital calendars. So, yes, I'm not sure that it's advice that works for everyone, but calendar consolidation, probably a good time management kit.
that makes so much sense now. Yeah. Oh God. Ugh. I only got one calendar. Yeah, it's all Google for me. Forget Apple. I hate them. Uh,
I do Google calendars too. They work pretty well for me.
exactly, especially when other tools like Calendly can integrate with them so flawlessly and seamlessly. It's like, yes, it's all
Yeah, I'm a
centralized.
Calendly gal too. Makes
There
life
we
much
go.
easier.
I knew you gave me these bunny slippers for a reason. You slipped it on my feet for a reason. She didn't want to slip it in a drink because I could tell. Woo. Well, speaking of wonderful slippers, we don't want to slip too far away. We want to get back to the wonderful alignment. So, if you wanted to put book an alignment of spirit, if that book were a food, what would it be and why?
Oh, if it were a food, what would it be and why? I think it would have to be a hot fudge sundae. Because who doesn't like a hot fudge sundae? There's something in there for everybody, whether that's the ice cream or the bananas or the chocolate or the caramel or the whipped cream or the cherry. I'm going to go for hot fudge sundae.
There you go. You're that right, folks. You got to read this book on Sundays because it's hot fudge, y'all. It's a hot fudge
Besides, it goes
Sunday.
well with the bunny slippers.
That's right, indeed. You can tell your spoon to hop to it. We're into that hot fudge Sunday, indeed. All the ice cream goodness, you'll be screaming for joy because you're aligned in spirit.
Yeah, it might not be very aligned with one's waistline, but spirit wise, hot fudge sundaes are pretty much the top in my book. So
Who knows? Maybe the spirit will be like, I got more room in here, baby. Woo! Time to skate around. I got a Tony Hawk skate park in there. Oh, that's actually that's bad, actually. Oh, yeah, that's right indeed. But hey, yeah, hot fudge Sunday. Y'all love to say it. Y'all love to say it. Well, we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is if you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year, what advice would you give to yourself?
I would tell myself to take it a little bit easier on myself and to remember to love yourself first. I think that's advice that I didn't really know very well when I was 25. When I was 25, I was busy worrying about what other people thought and not focused on just what was important for me. A lot of growth since age 25, I'll tell you that. Oh, and probably to wear bunny slippers. There you go, folks. That's right, indeed. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's right. Don't wait 3 years after 25 to learn to wear bunny slippers. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Put them on today. That's right, indeed. Bonus points is when actually send a selfie of herself wearing bunny slippers out there. Here in this episode. Yeah, although that'll be a good sign that she's a freaking master of hypnotherapy because it's like, yep, that's right, indeed. Proof for your success. Yeah, I got somebody to wear bunny slippers after they heard me on the podcast. Like, huh? How's that even work? Oh man. Well, before things get too stupendous, folks need to keep up with all the stuff that you're doing. So for those who need to do just that and more, what's the best way for folks to do so? The best place to find all my stuff, me and all my stuff, is on my website. My website is michellewalters.net. That's MICHELLEWALTERS.net. And they can find information about my book. They can find information about where I'm speaking, find information about my hypnosis and coaching services. It's all there.
Sweet. There we go. That's right indeed. You're already there, folks. That's right indeed. Follow Michelle and all the good stuff that she's doing. That's right indeed. Join Michelle on the giant hypno turtle shell indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. It'll be a whole island of goodness. That's right indeed. A whole island of goodness indeed. Who knows? You might even be able to learn where she puts her book in audio form. Will your book be on audio soon?
I would love to get my book into audio. Haven't managed to pull that together yet, but I'm hoping that will come later this year.
Oh, good. All righty. There we go. All right. So that sounds good, y'all. So later in 2023, hopefully we get to take Michelle on the go even more. You get to get inside your brain, y'all. That's right, indeed. In between your ears. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Because can't let a good voice like that to waste when you write your own book. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Because the world is a bagel and her voice is the cream cheese. It must be spread around it in date. So, my goodness, before we hop in another rabbit hole, any parting words before we close up shop?
No, I have no parting words, really, other than really, I had a great time tonight. You're a lovely host, and I'm so glad to be able to share about my book and my practice. Thank you so much.
Thanks a bunch for investing your time by listening to this wonderful podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you really did, do me a solid and leave a review or share this episode with at least 3 people that you think would get some value out of today's content. Advance others to advance yourself.